I think my vision is, let's see how we can enhance this even more. And saying, wow, only 100 startups in 2 years is a small number. Let's triple that and let's make that even more powerful and create an even bigger ecosystem to feed in to the already very vibrant multinational corporation system that happens here in the north of Israel.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Hello and welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. I'm honored to be joined by Eitan Kate, the CEO of Road2, a center that builds startups through networking, funding, and technology. He serves as co-president of the investment fund Friendly Angels Club. Lawyer Eitan Kate has been engaged for over 15 years. He took part in the team of the Ofer brothers and was a partner in the firm Amit Polk Matlon. Later, Eitan was involved in several senior positions in the leading medtech companies in Israel, including Lumenis, Biosens-Webster, a subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson, and served as COO at Kamada. The world of investments is an integral part of Eitan's professional life, reflected in his familiarity with the Israeli ecosystem. Thank you very, very much for being here, Eitan. I'm really excited to talk to you about northern Israel and Haifa and Road2 Haifa and everything that you've been doing over these years with it. You're also with Friendly Angels Club, leading a group of angel investors, which I'm excited to hear about, and the different activities you've taken part of, and obviously your own experience within the academic institutions within the University of Haifa. And so a lot for us to uncover, Eitan. Tell me a little bit about Haifa and about your own relationship with the place and what it represents for you.
Well, actually, my relationship with Haifa started at the age of 13, where my family emigrated from the UK and decided that Haifa is the perfect place to be. A wonderful combination between hills, forests, beaches, and great weather and wonderful people. I stayed in Haifa more or less over the entire period till today. I still live here. My kids I've been educated here, so it's a wonderful place of the world to live in.
Why? Why do you feel that way?
Let's put it this way: the atmosphere here is a lot more laid back than the classic hustle and bustle of Tel Aviv. The education here is wonderful. People are a lot friendlier. And, it's just a great place, in my opinion, to actually create and grow businesses. It's kind of a little known fact that the Israeli high tech was actually born in Haifa. Over the years, it kind of migrated to more to the center of Israel, mainly to Tel Aviv. But still, Haifa boasts the biggest industry park in Israel for high tech. It's called Matam, with several multinationals having their home here, at least their development home here in Israel, and it's based in Haifa. And a lot of the defense industries where it actually started out, where the Israel high tech actually started out, are located here in the north with the same people kind of revolving doors from defense through medical and a lot of device and life sciences startups. A lot of those are located here. Plus, another advantage is that a lot of the heavy industry of Israel is located here in the north, in the Haifa Bay, which creates more opportunities on the Industry 4.0 side, and a lot of collaboration and a collaborative atmosphere that happens here.
Incredible. I love it. So tell me a little bit about your own background leading into what you're doing today with Road2 Haifa. What has been your own experience with the industry and with entrepreneurship, investments, etc. here?
Oh, wonderful. So actually, I started out in a totally different realm. I was trained as an M&A lawyer. I did that for 15 years in some of the major defense groups in Israel and some investments groups. So I started out as an M&A lawyer in the defense group, and then with the Ofer brothers group, doing major deals such as establishment of Orange. It's now partner in the Elbit side, and on the side of the Ofer group, things to do with the Israel Corp, establishment of Tower Semiconductor 2, which is incidentally located in the north of Israel, and semiconductors, and many private funds. And later on, when I became mainly a high-tech and M&A lawyer in a law firm in Tel Aviv called Amit Polk Matlon, my main business was M&As, IPOs, NASDAQ. That's all I did for about 15 years until I decided that I really want to step into business. I really love the issue of investments, and basically that's one of the favorite things that I like to do. I don't consider it as a job, something that I do out of love. So speaking of love, that's what I established the Friendly Angels Club with a partner. A guy actually originated from Belgium, also living in Haifa. We met on the train, and this train ride together that we used to do every morning to Tel Aviv generated into a friendship, and that friendship generated into the Friendly Angels Club. And over the past 15, 16 years ago or so, we've invested nice significant sums from investors from all across the globe who were in love with the story of Israel, which we were very happy to project and to sell on. And over a period, of course, it was our own personal money. We were very selective in our investment strategy. So out of 15 total investments that we made, we only had to write off, and it's always a sad event, 3 companies. And out of the remainder, we had 5 exits, of which 2 IPOs, 1 reverse merge, 2 M&As, and all of the rest are doing very, very well with very strong up rounds still, despite the negative turns that are happening lately. So we're very proud of that. And we did that taking in money from places from the US all the way through India, obviously Europe and Israel. And that we considered as a labor of love. But as a career, I also had to earn my living, so to speak. And I chose to do that on the corporate side, starting in medical lasers with Lumenis, where I was for several years there doing a lot of very operational roles. Ended up in the end doing their internal M&As and investments, but the first time ever from inside the company and not as an external consultant, the way I used to do when I was a lawyer. Was headhunted from to a company, a franchise from the Johnson & Johnson businesses called Biosens-Webster. We're very proud to head the global supply chain there. And there's a lot of things to be learned about the fact that you have multinational companies. Always the teams that I had to lead were very eclectic teams from all over the globe. Basically, I was living on planes, if I have to be honest. Not a lot of fun, but it was great to meet such a diverse cultures. Anything from Far East to the Nordics to the US and anywhere in between, and the Middle East and Europe. Then, I decided after a few years of being a corporate guy to join a startup as a COO. I was in a company called Polypid, which is now traded on NASDAQ. I took part in, we actually tried 3 times before we managed to float the company on NASDAQ. And I was instrumental part of in some of these trials. And, from there to as business development in another publicly traded company on the pharma side called Kamada, when I was called finally to become the CEO of Road2 in Haifa, Road2 Innovation Haifa. And basically Road2, if we want to talk about that, is the first time that we ever dealt with early stage innovation. And Road2 is a very interesting company. It's owned by NVIDIA and an investment company called Mati in Haifa. And is unique in the fact that it's the only one of its kind that enjoys a unique kind of funding from the Israeli Innovation Authority in order to revamp the ecosystem of innovation in Haifa in the north. So people often ask us, what is Road2? Is it a fund? Is it an incubator? Is it an accelerator? And the answer is yes to all of the above and no to all of the above. And here's the very interesting concept of what Road2 is and what we do. Because this is the first time that early stage innovation is trying to be really vamped by the government or assisted through government funding, we wanted to create something unique. We didn't want to do the classic acceleration / incubation / funding of early stage investments. And it basically, the concept that we derived actually came from, to a large extent, from my personal experiences. So I saw that on the corporate side, for example, there are a lot of people that on their calling cards, you can see the word innovation. And big corporates need innovation in order to survive, in order to grow their next businesses. On the other extreme, you have startups that they have cool technology, but they have very difficult access into gaining clients and gaining access to infrastructure and obviously to money. So we decided to place Road2 in the middle, to be a kind of go-between between these two. And the way we did it was actually because I deal with startups, people kind of think, I have a wonderful startup. Can I come and pitch to you? And the answer is no. What we do is actually we start from the reverse side. We actually go to the corporates and persuade them to tell us their deepest, darkest secrets as to where their businesses aren't going that well. And from that, we ascertain the challenges that they're confronting. And once we understand these challenges, only then do we go out and seek the startup that we believe can address these challenges. And the way it works is that from the corporate side, we ask them to provide beta sites in their sites and engineering partnerships. And from the startup side, we teach them how to speak corporatese. On the corporate side, try to teach the corporates to speak startupese, and try to create a program that stems over several months, in which we actually see if the technology works. Now, what we do in addition to all of that, that's what we do on the infrastructure side as a business. But what we also do is we have a hub here in Haifa, in the downtown Haifa, in which we have at any given time about 20 startups that live there and interact. But we also have a supercomputer that we bought from NVIDIA, the whole ecosystem of service providers that provide AI services. So anything from algorithm work through various differentiating software and hardware aspects, all through annotation, etc., all in order to enable a startup who wants to use AI as a tool to excel in that area and basically make its solution work. And that's the way things happen. So over a period of any given year, we handle approximately 45 companies. We've been doing this a little over half year. So we've surpassed 100 companies, which is a huge amount. Most of these are seed and pre-seed companies that have not raised money before. And the amazing number is out of those, approximately 20 raised in excess amount of $30 million between them. So it goes to show that the engine that we created, which is basically need-based from the corporates, really, really works. And from us, once we see that a startup works and the beta site works and everyone is happy, that's when we decide whether or not we want to invest as Road2 as an investor. So that's basically the short story of and the way we're trying to work at it right now is actually to increase the investment size and to gain and to get additional investors or more on a fund structure in addition to what's happening on with Road2.
That's incredible. So thank you for that. The great overview on the story, and I can definitely see your own sort of narrative and motivation coming into play here, all the way from the integration of the geographical location with the what you called before the labor of love, a labor of love, which I just love. And I want to talk a little bit about a vision. If you had to take me to your own vision of Road to Haifa, your own personal vision, what are you aspiring for? What is sort of a goal inside, the North Star for you, either for yourself or for the organization?
I would sum it up in 3 words. I would say bigger, stronger, and better. In the end of the day, we do a phenomenal number of companies in any given year. That we enjoy the fact that we have a partnership with Rambam, a major medical facility here. We have a partnership with the universities and the Technion, and we have access to talent that does not normally go to or drift to Tel Aviv. For example, we have the Arab population that lives in the north of Israel that will not do the 3-hour drive back and forth to Tel Aviv, and we have access to that talent. So basically, to answer your question, I think my vision is let's see how we can enhance this even more. And saying, wow, only 100 startups in 2 years is a small number. Let's triple that and let's make that even more powerful and create an even bigger ecosystem to feed in to the already very vibrant multinational corporation system that happens here in the north of Israel.
Incredible.
And it's fun doing it.
Tell me a little bit about
laid back atmosphere here.
Yeah.
Okay.
The team. Tell me a little bit about the team that you have around you with Road to Haifa, because it sounds like a pretty remarkable group of people that are sharing a similar vision.
I agree. It's not easy to create a team who is so dedicated and they work really hard in order to do that. I will just, before we get into the team, I'll actually talk about the verticals that we work in, just to make sure that, from that we understand how the team was built. So we work in digital health. We work in industry 4.0. We do energy and environment, and we also do games. And in all of these, we've created partnerships with service providers, with accelerators, with hospitals, with the academy, in order to create an interest, and obviously with the industry, where everyone it's a kind of win-win situation. Everyone has an interest in the road to innovation success. Because if you're a corporate guy and you need innovation, you get it externally very, very cheap and efficient. If you're a startup and you're just out of the Technion, you finally get the shortcut into getting a paying customer and to see how that works. And if you're a physician in a hospital, and you were just complaining about the ailments of the Israeli system, health system, you can suddenly take this complaint and create a startup out of it, all encompassing using our AI capabilities. So we're very, very heavy on the AI, which I don't see as a vertical. It's more a tool. It's a horizontal. Out of that, we have a team. We have a team who is versed in AI and in the medical development. Our CTO has 2 degrees in biotechnology. He's also doing his MBA at Technion right now. Our VP of business development is a lady that lives in the north of Israel, actually in one of the Moshavim in the north, who is firmly entrenched in a lot of the energy, environment, and she's also involved in the health care, in the games, together with Tigdan that we have. On the Industry 4.0 side, not only do we have our team leader handling Industry 4.0, we're also in partnership with a company called Sarona that also does a lot of their own activity, and we join forces together with them. So when we collaborate together, we believe that we created a symphony rather than, we could be very as remarkable as we want as individual players. But when we actually get all the players together and place ourselves in the center of this is something which is very powerful, and it works very, very well from our perspective. And that's what we're so proud of doing. And that's how me, the team, our board of directors, our very strong advisory board that also helps us out and enhances all of our connections with overseas connections as well.
Phenomenal. Eitan, I really want to thank you for coming here and sharing this with me. Really fantastic speaking with you. So I appreciate your time and your efforts and the great work that you're doing in Road to Haifa. So thank you again very, very much. Best of luck. And I can't wait to continue cheering from the side.
Onwards and upwards. Thanks so much for having me over.